Stop what you're doing, because a rumor just detonated online that has fans shaking, arguing, and refusing to look away. It started quietly. Then suddenly 3 names crashed into one story: Porsha Williams, Todd Tucker, and Kandi. And the internet hasn't been the same since. According to explosive claims spreading across social media, Porsha Williams may be hiding a secret pregnancy, and Todd Tucker's name is now being dragged straight into the center of the fire. No confirmation, no denial, just silence, and reactions loud enough to rupture timelines. Then came the moment that changed everything. Cameras rolling, lights on, Kandi appearing visibly overwhelmed, struggling to hold herself together as fans watched in real time. Tase, shock, confusion. Viewers froze and asked one chilling question: why does this rumor hit so close to home? What was supposed to be just another messy online theory suddenly felt different, more personal, more emotional, more dangerous. Because when emotions spill on camera like that, people start wondering, is this just internet lies spiraling out of control? Or did something real just crack open in front of everyone? And before anyone could answer, the story only got darker. The cameras weren't supposed to be on that night. That's what made everything feel wrong from the very first second. Social media users claim the video appeared out of nowhere, no announcement, no countdown, no warning. Just a sudden notification that sent thousands rushing to their screens at the same time. What they saw instantly triggered panic, confusion, and shock. Kandi sitting there, not polished, not prepared, looking nothing like the woman fans were used to. Her face looked tense, her eyes heavy, like she hadn't slept. And almost immediately, viewers felt it. Something bad had already happened before the world tuned in. Within minutes, comments flooded in asking the same questions. Are you okay? What's going on? Why do you look like that? But instead of easing into the moment, instead of calming the room, the mood grew heavier. Social media users insist her energy wasn't dramatic. It was crushed, like someone holding in something that was never meant to be said out loud. And then the rumors that were already whispering behind the scenes suddenly found oxygen. Across gossip pages and fan forums, one claim started to spread faster than anything else. Porsha Williams, pregnancy, Todd Tucker, 3 names colliding in a way nobody expected, yet somehow everyone couldn't stop talking about. At first, it sounded ridiculous. Another messy internet theory looking for attention. But then people started connecting dots. Old photos, timeline gaps, missing appearances, posts that were suddenly deleted, captions that felt loaded once you looked back twice. What made it spiral wasn't proof, it was reactions. People noticed how fast comment sections locked, how certain posts disappeared without explanation, how silence replaced what would normally be quick denials. Fans began asking why no one was shutting it down immediately if it was truly fake. Instead, the internet was met with vague messages, emotional moments, and quiet withdrawals. Kandi's reaction became the emotional center of the storm. Clips of her looking overwhelmed spread everywhere. People replayed every second, slowing the footage down, analyzing facial expressions, watching her hands shake slightly as she spoke. Some viewers said she looked betrayed. Others said she looked blindsided. A few even claimed she looked like someone who had just learned something she was never supposed to find out. Whether that was true or not didn't matter. Perception took control. Meanwhile, Porsha remained mostly silent. No clear statement, no calm explanation, just cryptic behavior that only fueled speculation. Fans dissected everything, her recent posts, her absence, the people she was around. Was it coincidence? Or was it timing that didn't want to be noticed? Todd, on the other hand, said nothing at all. And in celebrity scandals, silence often becomes its own kind of answer. What pushed this from gossip into obsession was how split the internet became. One side believed this was a cruel setup, a false narrative spiraling out of control, dragging multiple lives into chaos for clicks and attention. The other side believed the emotional reactions were too real, too raw to be staged. They argued that no one breaks down like that over a rumor unless it touches something true. Old interviews resurfaced. Old moments that once seemed harmless were suddenly framed as suspicious. Fans claimed they noticed tension where they hadn't before. Jokes that now felt uncomfortable. Interactions that felt different in hindsight. The past was being rewritten in real time, filtered through shock and suspicion. And still, no one confirmed anything. The lack of clarity made the story feel heavier, darker. Because when facts are missing, imagination fills the gaps. And imagination online is ruthless. People started asking questions no one seemed ready to answer. If the rumors are fake, why hasn't anyone shut them down cleanly? If they are real, why are they being handled through silence and emotion instead of truth? By the end of that first night, one thing was clear. This was no longer just about a rumor. It had become about trust, reactions, and the way people behave when something sensitive threatens to surface. Fans weren't just watching anymore. They were invested, emotionally pulled into a story that felt unfinished. And as the internet stayed awake, refreshing pages, waiting for someone to speak, one uncomfortable thought lingered in the background. If this was only the beginning, what happens when more pieces start falling into place? Because according to online chatter, this story hadn't exploded yet. It was only heating up. As the night faded into morning, the internet didn't calm down, it intensified. What began as scattered speculation quickly hardened into patterns people believed they were uncovering themselves. Screenshots were pulled from months back. Old live streams were clipped and reposted with red circles and arrows. Fans claimed they were noticing changes in behavior they once ignored. Missed events, sudden trips, unexplained absences. Every tiny detail was being stretched into something bigger. What stood out most wasn't what was being said, it was what wasn't. No immediate statements. No clean denials. No simple explanations. In a world where celebrity teams respond within minutes, this silence felt intentional to many watching. Social media users started asking if someone was buying time, buying silence, or trying to figure out what to say without making things worse. Kandi's emotional moment continued to ripple across platforms. New angles surfaced, longer clips, uncut versions that hadn't gone viral the first time. In those moments, viewers said they noticed hesitation, pauses where it looked like she wanted to say more but stopped herself. Her eyes drifting off camera, her breathing changing when certain comments appeared on screen. Whether that meant anything real didn't matter. It felt real to the people watching, and feeling becomes belief very quickly online. Meanwhile, speculation around Porsha grew louder. Fans dissected appearances and disappearances alike. Why had she gone quiet when the rumors took off? Why not laugh it off if it was nonsense? Why post vague messages instead of clarity? To supporters, the answer was obvious. She was protecting herself from being dragged into chaos. To critics, the silence felt calculated, like someone waiting for the storm to pass. Todd's absence from the conversation only deepened the tension. No post, no reaction, no visible attempt to shut anything down. People argued whether that meant guilt or strategy. Some insisted speaking would only give life to baseless rumors. Others believed staying quiet allowed speculation to control the narrative. Either way, his silence became part of the story, not an escape from it. As hours passed, fake insiders emerged. Accounts claiming to know someone close or have information that can't be shared yet popped up everywhere. Some offered vague hints. Others promised proof that never came. The audience didn't even care if it was real. They cared that it felt like something was being hidden. That alone was enough to keep attention locked in. Friendships became collateral damage. Fans picked sides aggressively. Comment sections turned hostile. Anyone questioning the rumors was accused of being blind. Anyone believing them was accused of spreading lies. The middle ground disappeared completely. Once a story reaches that stage, logic loses power. Emotion takes over. Behind the scenes, people began wondering about the toll. Not just on careers, but on real lives. Families, children, relationships unrelated to the internet. Some viewers began to feel uneasy, questioning whether watching this unfold made them part of the damage. Others doubled down, arguing that public figures live with public consequences. What made everything more unsettling was how believable it all felt despite no confirmation. Not because of proof, but because of patterns. Fans insisted scandals like this always start the same way: shock, silence, emotion, then explanation later. Whether that pattern was real or imagined didn't matter. It shaped expectations. By the second day, the rumor wasn't just a rumor anymore. It was a narrative. A story with characters, tension, and unanswered questions. Media outlets started carefully addressing it using words like unverified and online reports. Even that cautious acknowledgement gave the situation new weight. To many, that felt like validation. Still, no one directly addressed the core claim. Instead, the audience was left reading between lines, interpreting tone, watching body language, decoding avoidance. And that made the story darker. Because when people don't speak clearly, others speak for them, often recklessly. As watchers refreshed their feeds yet again, one thing became apparent: This story was no longer under anyone's control. Not the celebrities, not their teams, not even the pages spreading it. The internet had taken ownership. And if this much damage could be done without a single confirmed fact, people began asking a terrifying question. What happens when someone finally speaks, and the truth, whatever it is, doesn't match what everyone has already decided to believe? Because at this point, the fallout felt inevitable. And the next move, from anyone, could either calm the storm or tear it wide open. By the third stretch of this unfolding chaos, the conversation had shifted from curiosity to obsession. People weren't just reacting anymore, they were waiting. Waiting for a mistake, waiting for a slip, waiting for someone, anyone, to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And that kind of pressure changes how stories move. Because now, every silence felt heavier, every post felt intentional, and every delay felt suspicious. What unsettled viewers most was how carefully everyone seemed to move. Supporters of Kandi pointed out that pain like that doesn't come from nowhere. They argued that her emotional reaction wasn't for sympathy or attention. It looked like shock mixed with disappointment, the kind that comes when trust is questioned. Clips of her wiping her face, collecting herself, and going quiet mid-sentence were slowed down and overanalyzed. To many, it seemed like someone holding back details they weren't ready to share. At the same time, defenders of Porsha began pushing back harder. They accused gossip pages of rewriting timelines to fit a narrative. They reminded people how often women are targeted online with unproven claims. According to them, the silence wasn't suspicious, it was survival. They argued that saying anything would only fuel a fire started by rumors, not facts. But even that defense struggled to breathe in an environment already addicted to speculation. Behind closed doors, fans assumed conversations were happening. Emergency meetings, damage control, carefully chosen words being drafted and deleted. Some believed everyone involved was waiting to see how far the story would run before stepping in. Others thought legal advice was slowing things down. The lack of transparency turned everyone into detectives, hunting for meaning in nothing. Then attention turned inward. People began questioning where these rumors truly came from. Who started them? Was it just random internet noise that spiraled out of control? Or did it come from someone closer to the situation? Anonymous accounts made cryptic posts hinting at inside knowledge, but never revealing anything concrete. Screenshots circulated that couldn't be verified. Every new piece of information created more confusion instead of clarity. What made it more disturbing was how easily perception replaced reality. People no longer cared whether the story was true. They cared whether it felt true. Emotional reactions became evidence. Timing became proof. Silence became guilt. That's when some viewers started pulling back, realizing how dangerous this cycle could be. But others leaned in even harder, convinced the truth was being deliberately buried. At some point, the damage was already done. Reputations had been shaken. Trust among fan communities fractured. Lines were drawn between belief and disbelief with no room left for uncertainty. Even if a denial came tomorrow, people wondered whether it would be accepted or simply dismissed as damage control. The pressure continued to rise as influencers and commentary channels jumped in, each version louder and more dramatic than the last. Every retelling added emotion, stripped nuance, and pushed the narrative further from its origin. The story grew teeth. And once that happens, it rarely lets go quietly. What lingered beneath everything was a single unresolved tension. Why had emotions shown before explanations? Why did this feel personal instead of distant? Those questions gnawed at people because they didn't have answers, and unanswered questions are the fuel of online chaos. By now, the situation felt less like a rumor and more like a slow-moving train headed somewhere nobody could control. Fans braced for impact, knowing the next development, whether a statement, a denial, or a confirmation, wouldn't end the story. It would only change its shape. And deep down, everyone knew it. This wasn't about truth anymore. It was about timing. And whoever spoke first would decide how bad it got. Before you scroll away, stop for a second, because stories like this don't move on their own. They move because people like you are watching, reacting, and questioning what's really going on. Right now, this situation is still unfolding, and the truth hasn't fully surfaced yet. That's what makes this moment important. Now we want to hear your side. Do you think this is just another internet rumor pushed too far? Or does the silence, the emotion, and the timing make you believe there's something deeper happening behind the scenes? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. Not what everyone else is saying, but what you actually think. Are people jumping to conclusions, or are they noticing signs others are scared to address? Reading different perspectives is how hidden details sometimes come into focus. If you're following this story closely, make sure to like this video so more people can join the conversation. The more eyes on it, the harder it becomes for important details to stay buried or ignored. And if you don't want to miss the next update, because trust me, this isn't over, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The moment new information, reactions, or statements appear, we'll break them down step by step so you can decide what's real and what's noise. Share this with someone who's been talking about this situation non-stop. Let them weigh in too, because the internet has already chosen sides, but the full picture is still forming. This story is changing in real time, and the next move from anyone involved could shift everything. Stay alert. Stay curious. We'll be watching closely.